The 2004 Detroit Pistons championship run is an enigma, an anomaly if you will. They were a team going up against what was effectively the greatest basketball dynasty of the most recent NBA seasons, the LA Lakers. Not the Lakers, the Los Angeles Lakers. You know the squad: Kobe, Shaq, an old glove, an injured pedophile. Yeah, those guys. A team so severely doubted, so completely underappreciated, that when they beat LA in 5 games, SportsCenter treated it like a punchline leading into the postgame show.
All of you who had Detroit in 5, no you didn't. The Pistons delivering another NBA title to Motown, somewhat unexpected. Now what should we expect from the Lakers? Who will stay and what heroes are fading away? Don't you go away. This is SportsCenter.
How on earth could a bunch of nobodies and some college coach take down this Goliath with 2 legends in their primes on the roster? Was it the magic of the Palace at Auburn Hills and their #1 ranked attending crowd? How about the move mid-season to bring in another big man named Wallace into the fold? Sure, these things matter, but nothing compares to the significance of just one factor, just a single variable that makes the entire equation that is the 2004 NBA Finals flip on its head. That factor was Chauncey Billups. But let's rewind a bit. The most astute of you have probably already noticed that this video is part of a community project led by Mr. Tomioni himself, the NBA Storyteller. Real quick, I'd like to plug my interview with Emio. Go check it out if you're into that. A community project focused on great moments of past finals series. And the game footage you've seen so far, where Mr. Big Shot himself hits a logo 3-pointer before it was cool, is not from the finals. Why would I waste your time, loyal viewer? Well, first off, anybody who listens to Hustle Point should know by now that I value your time. And secondly, it's because this is just one example of the type of player that Chauncey Billups is. Watch this whole sequence, okay? So wife beater Jason Kidd misses both free throws. Sheed gets the rebound and immediately knows who to look for. He gets it to Chauncey, and like the LeBlock before the LeBlock, podcast artist Richard Jefferson comes soaring through the air to smack the potentially game-tying layup against the backboard with just a few ticks left on the clock. Put yourself in this position. You just got wrecked. And you had your chance to tie it up and maybe go on to be up 3-2 heading back to New Jersey, and you just got absolutely, unequivocally wrecked. How do you handle it? Be honest. Do you pout? Do you get mad? Or do you do what great players do and move on to the next play? Well, let me tell you a little secret. Chauncey Billups was a great player.
They have just under 3 seconds to do it. Here's Chauncey Billups. Here it is. He's got it. He's got it. Chauncey Billups hits the 3. Overtime. Amazing.
Fortunately, the Nets missed 3 straight free throws to enable this moment to happen. And as much as I would like to say that this is my #1finals moment, it just doesn't qualify. I mean, Detroit wouldn't even go on to win this game. So where's the one finals moment you came here for? Why is it that I feel the need to set up all of this context for you? It's to prove a point. Detroit might seem like an anomaly to the dogmatic NBA fan who only watches a few games a year. Shit, even to experts it seemed odd, funny even, that this team with no superstars and barely even any all-star level talent, no 20-point per game scorer, not only defeated, but destroyed Kobe fucking Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. But the reason, to me, is really quite simple. It's just one word. Leadership. Superstars have always been seen as a necessary component of a championship team. But that perception is just flat out wrong. An untrue assumption about how the NBA works. With a maximum of only 10 people on the court playing at a time, usually 5 on both sides, one player can make a huge impact on the game. We've seen LeBron backpack bums to the finals over and over, so it seems obvious what type of players are making the big differences when it counts the most, right? Wrong. I've even had my man Bob come on the show and say that teams win championships in spite of their best players, not because of them.
You know, I've done a lot of statistical work. I've created my own stats, actually, called Echo Stats, where I utilize economic concepts and I put a price to stats. take the Raptors as an example. Like, I'll look at someone like Pascal Siakam and Kawhi Leonard, and I'll go, Kawhi Leonard is more productive than Pascal Siakam, but he costs 10 times as much money. You can't look at it in isolation because we're in a salary cap era. So it's a fancy way of saying that the numbers are out of whack. And I think I could prove that not only do superstars not make for winning teams, that I believe that teams win despite the superstars based on how they manage their financial resources that are not spent on the superstar.
So if a superstar-centric approach is the wrong way, then that means that the Detroit Pistons are the epitome of doing basketball the right way. You see, it's not that you need a superstar. It's that you need a leader. You need somebody you can count on down the stretch when it's money time to hit a big shot. And the Pistons had Mr. Big Shot himself. But leadership runs deeper than the ability to score in the clutch. Chauncey is what some people might call a natural-born leader. They're a rare breed, but I do believe they exist.
Definitely both leadership positions on both sides of the ball. I always kind of been that all my life, really, just kind of been that leader since I was a kid. But most of the time, I was always the captain, and I always picked my team, and I always thrived and liked being in that position, in that role.
He led the team not just in spirit or in clutch shooting, but primarily by doing what a true point guard, quote-unquote, is supposed to do: get his teammates involved. Chauncey's go-to scoring move was the walk-up three-pointer, and people questioned his shot selection because this was very, very pre-Steph Curry. But when he wasn't calling his own number, his focus was on making his teammates better. And Chauncey has a knack for focusing.
I've always been very focused. I've been a guy that thinks 2 or 3 steps ahead, or prided myself in that. So with that being said, I wouldn't want it to be on anybody else's shoulders because I trusted myself. But I feel like the game of basketball has taught me all that I need to know about life. And I've been through a lot in this game, and I've had some ups and downs. I just want to prove to everybody that I was right. I can be a champion. And I can rise and be one of the best players in the world at my position. That's all I ever wanted to do, is to prove to everybody, because I felt that way. So in the process of that, the MVP just kind of came around. You got to hold everybody accountable. You got to set the standard, but you got to live by it. So I've never been the kind of guy to point fingers, and I've always been the kind of leader that as soon as I mess up or miss a coverage or miss a guy open, I'm going to be the first one to bow down and say, my bad, I got you. And I think that just me leading in that way, it kind of made everybody kind of just get in line. To become a very good leader, at some point you would have had to become a very, very good follower and knowing who to follow. And I always very good in my judgment and judging people. But I never take my leadership qualities, disrespect them. I never use them inappropriately. I always know when to step up and when to lead. I'm not always walking around every day just leading people, but when that time is appropriate, I never shy away from that moment. And I think that it's just a gift that I've been given, not just myself, but other leaders all around the league or in life or in business. And some people can do the wrong things with it, and I try to pride myself on doing what's right.
Chauncey didn't always get his number called, though. The Celtics drafted him with the 3rd pick when they really didn't even want him, and traded him mid-season. The Raptors, Wolves, and Nuggets never found the right role for him, and I think that's because, compared to other players, Billups was a bit of a late bloomer. Maybe it's because that natural-born leadership quality doesn't quite translate to the NBA when you're still on your rookie deal. Plus, Chauncey wasn't exactly a head-turning athlete either. But once he landed in Detroit, it all came together. He would go on to dominate the series, getting 21 points per game, over 5 assists, and shooting 50-40-90 on top of it all. He got into Kobe's head, made him take bad shots and commit bad fouls. Kobe couldn't do anything to guard him, and it was all because he was motivated to play the right way, to be a leader and make the team's motor fire on all cylinders. I mean, just look at him sauce up Kobe, who I've been told is an excellent defender. Anyway, we're getting off topic. The Pistons smacked LA so badly that Chauncey never had the chance to have a single clutch moment that I can point to and say, yes, this is greatness. But there's one that comes close. Remember how Chauncey bounced right back after getting wrecked? Mr. Big Shot knew he had an opportunity to blow it out of the water when he missed this attempted high-arcing layup over the Shactus, and fortunately the first Wallace was there to ignite the crowd with a vicious putback dunk. Then, Chauncey steals it right from Kobe. Fast break, drives, crosses up the washed-up glove and nails the double clutch layup and one, falling away to complete a 10-2 run. That is before Wallace comes back to give the crowd another dose of energy with this epic goaltend. Detroit's defense, ranked number 2 in the NBA, was good enough to maintain a sizable lead should they be able to get one. So when the opportunity arose to get the crowd behind them while also extending the lead to 17 points going into the fourth quarter of what might be the last game of the NBA Finals, Chauncey seized the moment. This is maybe the best sequence of the entire series, but it's still not my one finals moment. This moment right here, where the commish presents a finals MVP to a player who's not even made his first All-Star game. This is my #one finals moment. This trophy, which some of us hold in such high esteem that we don't even call the best player on earth because he doesn't have one. The most valuable player in the biggest series in the world goes to a guy who, after accepting it, says this.
It's kind of a community MVP. You know, I'm taking it, but you know, it's all about it. It's all about it. It's all about it. It's all about it. It's all about it.
There's plenty of ways to define leadership. The one I like to use is the skill of bringing out the best of those around you. Chauncey's leadership style is calm, measured, and ultimately successful at doing just that. He does what leaders do as well, if not better, than anyone in NBA history. He led the Motor City to the promised land, made the big shots when he had to, and ultimately won the trophy not by putting his team on his back, but by being the one who leads them into battle. The Finals MVP, Chauncey Billups, calls it a community MVP while the confetti is practically still falling. Not because he doesn't think that he deserves it, but because he knows he couldn't have done it any other way. By bringing out the best of the other 4 guys who share the court with him, Chauncey made sure his team played the right way. And as a result, the 2004 Detroit Pistons won the championship. No superstar necessary.
Talk about validation, you know, for me in my career and what I always believed. Now, at this point, everybody has to believe that.
The 2004 NBA Finals MVP, #1, Chauncey Billups.